Hey, Nopes, mate, can you just give us an update on Ben Cunnington and just how much the news yesterday sort of rocked the club?
Yeah, look, I'll make one comment and then I won't be making any more. We're sending our best wishes to Ben and Belinda and their extended families. You know, they've got certainly our love and support and our best wishes. Yeah, all those unfortunate circumstances, mate, when they land, you know, they're always difficult to deal with. You know, we briefed the players as early as we could yesterday, once we'd worked through all the issues with Ben. Briefed the players again this morning, and yeah, we're sort of getting ready for training. So, yeah, as I said, mate, we wish him all the best. We hope for a speedy recovery. The other thing I'd like to do is just like to thank the media on behalf of the club for the respect that they've shown. You know, we really appreciate the care that the media has shown towards Ben and his family and us as a footy club.
Not one on Ben, but just on the playing group in general, how they've handled the news, Dave?
Yeah, there's always a range of emotions. You know, I think with these types of things, mate, you know, people have sometimes had their own, you know, previous experiences, you know, fortunate or unfortunate with these things. So we just need to be, you know, diligent in making sure that, you know, internally our guys feel supported as well, you know, with any previous experiences that these things tend to bring up. So we'll work really hard in the background to make sure we've got those mechanisms in place. As I said, we had a chat about a few things this morning, gave our staff and players a brief, and now we're, you know, we're sort of not moving on without, you know, obviously the sensitivity of it. But yeah, we're now getting ready for training and heading to Tassie and playing the Cats.
Is it going to be hard to keep the guys focused this week, David? How do you go about sort of keeping them on track and focusing on the game?
Yeah, well, I think if you address it, Shane, you know, that's the main thing. I think so the players, you know, feel like it's okay to discuss things if they need to, you know, to ask questions. So I think that's really important, that both from staff and players' perspective, that, you know, that they have a sense of it's okay to move on with things, and it's okay to discuss things if you need to. So we just need to be aware of that, but we certainly feel like we'll get through today, get through our captain's run tomorrow, and by the time we end up down in Tassie on Saturday, I'm sure we'll be ready to go.
Losing Cunnington for this week, obviously, and Thomas as well.
Yep.
Who does that sort of open up opportunities for? Who takes those roles this week?
Yeah, well, look, I think around, so Marnie becomes available if Robbie, you know, gets through from that side of things. You know, Jed came back in last week, so he probably gets a bit more midfield time. You know, Will Phillips has been in and around sort of through that forward area. He may get more midfield time. We've got a few guys, you know, that are in pretty good form from the scratch match that we had, the combined match that we had on the weekend. So, yeah, look, with all of these circumstances, mate, it means that when you lose someone like that, then you need a range of other guys to step up into that breach. One, it creates opportunity, and two, it quite often helps you spread the load. So whilst you become or can be a bit, you know, reliant at some times, you know, with those big stars, the other thing that it brings a little bit of versatility and opportunity. So that's how we'll look at it this week, and yeah, it gives some more time to certain number of our younger players in those areas of the ground.
How's Thomas tracking?
Sorry, mate.
How's Thomas tracking at the moment?
Yeah, look, I think he had another check-in yesterday, so far so good. So I think he's moving through that band. You know, they go through a range of different tests that moves them from, you know, a traffic light system. So I think he's progressing in line with what, you know, we would hope, that may make him available for next weekend's game. But, you know, again, there's a no risk policy obviously with those things, and hopefully if he can get through in the right ranges and get moving in the next few days, then next week starts to look like it might be possible.
Do you get Robbie?
Sorry, mate.
Sorry, do you get Robbie Tarrant this week, Nose?
Yeah, well, he'll be out training, Riley. He'll be out having a run around today. So yeah, if he gets through training, mate, he'll certainly be up for selection again.
Hey Dave, where's young Tommy Powell at? We haven't seen him for a number of weeks.
Yeah, we'll probably know by the end of the week, I reckon, Corey, whether or not we're able to get him back and going or not. We've sort of tried to move him forward a little bit. There's been a little bit of soreness, and with a younger guy and the load that he had, we'll probably make a determination by the end of this week as to whether or not we'll push on or whether we'll just say, like, that's enough. So, you know what those young guys like they want to push through and come back and get going, but there's also an understanding that you don't want any long-term issues to delay his pre-season. So we'll make an assessment on him by the end of the week.
Are you leaning towards wrapping him in cotton wool now?
Probably. I wouldn't tell him that just yet, but he'll probably know that now. But yeah, I think he's shown some great skills, some composure in that midfield. You know, he's another exciting young midfielder coming through. So yeah, I'm probably leaning on more that way. And look, we'll have those discussions with the medicos in the next couple of days. But yeah, I think that's probably where my headspace is at the moment.
David, there's been a lot of talk this year about how rebuilding sides tend to tail off towards the end of the season a lot of the time. It's been quite the opposite. You've sort of been building pretty well over the last month and after the bye. What do you put that down to within this group?
Well, I think we've maintained our internal process, I think, Riley, in continuing to sort of chase incremental improvements and go hard after those. I think we've celebrated those as we've seen them, and then they've continued to sort of escalate over the last sort of 5 or 6 weeks particularly. I think post the bye, we did a lot of education in regards to our game plan and how we wanted guys to play. Lots of discussion and dialogue with players in regards to what it's going to look like. And to the players' credit, they've been full of energy and full of a willingness and a want to continue to improve. So yeah, so we're bullish about continuing to improve in the next sort of 3 or 4 weeks. So that's exciting. I think it's exciting for our fans if we can maintain that direction of what that looks like. So we'd like to finish the next 3 or 4 weeks with some real strong performances with a couple of tough teams coming up.
Are there many bigger challenges than Geelong at the moment?
Probably is if we played them down there, but yeah, taking them down to Tassie, which coincidentally enough was our normal scheduled game, and we've been down there 6 times quite safely, and the Tassie government have been outstanding in their assistance. So no, they're in terrific form. I think I might have mentioned a few weeks ago with a couple of other teams. When we were playing the Bulldogs, they're a hardened team, the Cats. They play a great brand of footy. They played successful finals for a long period of time. They're a hard nut to crack. They really are. So yeah, so we'll certainly need to bring our best, Shane. In the way that we want to play. They're not going to let the game go on to our terms. I wouldn't think very easily. So we put up not a bad fight last time when we played them down there. We think we've advanced our game in a few areas well, since that time. But yeah, they're going to be a tough nut to crack, no doubt.
How's Cam Zurhaar's shoulder? Nobes, it didn't look too good on the weekend.
Yeah, we'll see how he pulls up today on that as well, Corey. We're not 100% sure whether he'll get through. So again, with a month to go, if it means that he's got to have a spell for a week, well, then we'll have that discussion. But yeah, at this stage, he's probably 50-50, I would have thought.
Just another selection one, David. Is Will Phelps all right after that knock last week?
Yeah, they couldn't stop the blood flow, which is why we subbed him out. They were concerned and they didn't want to wrap his nose with the fracture that he had. But yeah, he's lucky, Riley. He didn't end up with 2 black eyes, so he was pretty happy that that didn't occur. But yeah, it's a bit flat and it's a little bit uglier than what it was a few days ago. But we would expect that he'll be fine to play.